Hello again, this is Jim Pellegrino, your host for The Hour with Jim Pellegrino, and our next guest is Paul Schlickmann. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Paul, as of April 9th, I think it was, has just been appointed Central Connecticut's new Director of Athletics. Is that correct?
That is correct.
It's first handshake, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations and best of luck to you.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be
here. And I guess I might be extending my hand again because I noticed from reading all of your press that you're engaged to be married, and it's this year.
It's 6 weeks away. July 24th is the big date.
Congratulations again, Paul.
The clock is ticking.
All doing
Absolutely.
it within 3 months, huh?
We're getting a lot done in a short period of time. No
Excellent,
question.
excellent. And Paul previously had some senior level athletics departments positions at both Stony Brook and Yale. Why don't you give us just a minute or so about your background?
Sure, and one of the things is I'm thrilled to be back in the state of Connecticut. Even prior to Yale, I graduated from Trinity College right up the road in Hartford. So certainly familiar with Connecticut by virtue of my undergraduate days, and played a little basketball there for Coach Ogrodnik.
Are you a Connecticut guy?
I was born in Massachusetts, but went to school at Trinity, and then did my master's up at Springfield College.
Okay.
Spent 10 great years at Yale, loved every minute down there, worked for some great people, Tom Beckett, the AD down there, and then was fortunate to get an opportunity over on Long Island at Stony Brook, and spent 7 great years there. And
so you're 17 years in. Now, is that
yes,
since you graduated from Trinity, Paul? Or?
Yeah, I spent a couple years coaching basketball in between Trinity and Yale.
I see.
But for the most part, about 19 years in college athletics in the administrative level.
So you've gone really from an elite Privy League institution, private, to Stony Brook. Is that a state?
Stony Brook is part of the SUNY system.
It's part of the SUNY system.
Big state
University of New York.
Yep.
And now Central, of course, is a major part of the Connecticut State University system. So, what have you been doing to keep busy after your first month?
It hasn't been that hard. It hasn't been that hard at all. I've spent the vast majority of my first month on the job trying to get to know all our staff, what I call looking, listening, and learning. It's been a great. I've met with virtually every staff member at this point, either one-on-one or in small groups. Met with a whole slew of campus individuals, all the people that it's important that I build a relationship with on campus. And then I'm trying to get out as well and be external. And so I've met with a number of alums and our corporate partners, and trying to get out and meet some community folks as well.
So that is a good 2 months worth of work you got.
It sure is. It sure is.
With a lot to go. Okay, thanks for that back. What I know it's only been 2 months, Paul, but if you took a snapshot right now, what is Central's athletic program status? I mean, you are, as I remember, 18 major sports in your Division I. As a matter of fact, this year is your 25th year in Division I, right?
Correct.
So what do you find the status to be?
Well, I think one of the things that really appealed to me when I saw that the director position was open here was the great history of tradition and success they've had from Division II into their Division I years. And they've been very successful in the Northeast Conference in Division I, and this year, one of their best years in Division I by winning 4 championships in the conference. So
what were those 4 championships?
They won, obviously prior to me getting here, they won football, men's soccer, cross country, and we had a great last couple of weeks with our baseball team.
That's right.
Winning
in fact,
the Northeast
you were down in
Conference
Norwich with the Huskies down there, right?
It was a terrific opportunity for us to play, if you will, on a national stage locally. And so our guys did a great job winning the NEC championship, and then playing up in Norwich. And we gave a great battle to Florida State in our first game, and then ran out of some pitching in game 2 and struggled against the Huskies. But really proud of the guys. They had a great year.
Yeah, that's great. But I mean, the status in general, Paul, I mean, that's the immediate success stories that's going on this year. Any particular areas when you have status things after the first 60 days that may be areas there? I mean, you're saying that there are some. We always say that there are some really good areas that a new kid on the block inherits, and there's some areas where maybe there are some concerns and/or challenges you have.
Sure. I think when you're a new athletic director coming in, you're probably looking at 3 major categories, and that's certainly personnel. Your lifeblood is your staff and the people, the quality of the people you have.
In the athletic department.
In the athletic department, and certainly on campus. I mean, it's all about your boss, and we have a terrific president here who's very supportive, and that was in large part why this job was so attractive to me and so appealing. But we have some good people in the athletic department. We have some very quality coaches who are talented and doing a good job. In this day and age, not just in college athletics, but in higher education and across the board, you're worried about finances and budgets. So that's certainly something that
You
you
mean
analyze.
for the athletics department?
Sure. But I think we're in pretty solid shape right now. And then the other part would be facilities. And I'm excited that we have some great things going on with facilities right now. There's some growth and progression going on.
Well, in reading about your background, Paul, if I remember correctly, you were very involved in a very, very substantial upgrade of all the facilities
at Stony Brook.
At Stony Brook,
yes.
Right?
We were fortunate to do some good things while I was there, probably in the neighborhood of about $10 million worth of capital projects.
Now, was that from the time you were there, Paul, to the time you left?
Yes.
So that happened under your watch?
It's in conjunction with my boss.
Because you were the chief operating officer there,
yes.
right?
Yeah, we did a good job, I think, of a combination of private donors and procuring some money from the state in terms of capital allocation.
So that's a skill set you already have? In terms of the facility upgrade.
I think it's a great skill to have. I think it's a great experience to have when you get and sit in this chair to know how that works. Yeah.
The financial situation, we've got about 5 minutes to go, Paul. The financial situation, I mean, you're a state university. I mean, just like UConn's a state university, et cetera. It's tough nowadays.
It is tough.
It's tough, Paul.
Well, you know, there's certain things you can control and certain things you can't. So you just have to, with the allocations that you're presented with from an institutional perspective, you just have to be very smart and you have to be fiscally responsible and maximize your resources and be creative. And then we have to go out and develop our own resources. And
what are your top 2 or 3 priorities? What are your personal top 2 or 3 priorities after a 60-day assessment?
Well, I would say the overall goal is to make Central Connecticut the premier athletics program in the Northeast Conference. That's the overriding goal. And
who are some of the other schools in that conference, Paul?
Well, if you go from north to south, we got Bryant College, Bryant University, which is the newest member, and then in Connecticut here we have Quinnipiac and Sacred Heart. And then you get down into the metropolitan area, you have St. Francis, New York, you got LIU, Brooklyn, you got Wagner.
Right, all of whom are continuing to upgrade their programs.
So, so everybody's trying to do the same thing. So I would say just making sure our teams have the resources to compete against our primary competitors, which is the Northeast Conference. It's going to be a big part of my job to go out, given the financial constraints that we may foresee in the next coming years, to go out and fundraise and make sure we're fiscally solvent for the coming years. And then making sure we have the proper facilities to recruit the best and the brightest athletes.
Yeah. Speaking of recruiting the best and brightest athletes, well, we got about 3 minutes left. You know what? I mean, as a University of Connecticut person, I mean, I watch what my own university is going through. Central, as a Division I college university, is no different than any other Division I school. And I was thinking of asking you the question, so what challenges the UC as an AD in general? And I said to myself, Jim, why don't you list the kind of challenges that Paul has? And here's what I listed, Paul.
Right.
I said what Paul has to face up to as an AD is athletics, academics, the alumni, the corporate partners, fundraising, the students, and not the least of which is our good friends, the NCAA people.
Sure.
Right?
That's a pretty good
What's
list.
your view on doing all that?
Well, I would say
especially the NCAA.
Yeah, that's a good list. I wouldn't say it's the entire list, but I think the unique aspect of being a Division I director of athletics these days is you have to be all things to all people, and you certainly have to have a unique skill set. And by virtue of the breadth of things you have to be well versed in, you have to have great staff. And it is a challenge to balance the experience of student athletes these days in terms of being very competitive, but also trying to make sure they have a quality academic experience.
You know, my view is a layman to being an AD, Paul. I mean, when I go back 30, 40 years, University of Connecticut as a student, et cetera, et cetera, I mean, I have to tell you, Paul, that the NCAA was an acronym to us back then. And it seems as though, and I'd like your view on this, you don't have to editorialize too much if you don't want to, but the NCAA has gone from being an arm's length partner, that it's my perception that they are just downright intrusive. Every nitpicky little thing that goes on, they're all over people about. Is that an incorrect perception?
I think my perspective on that is that the NCAA is largely a misunderstood organization, and what a lot of people don't realize is that we are the NCAA. The NCAA is largely driven by virtue of the policies and procedures that we create. They're all created by athletics directors and committees. And then the NCAA is really just in charge of enforcing those rules. So if people complain about the rules and the nitpickiness, we're creating our own rules.
That's a good perspective for us to have, Paul.
So, you know, I think there's There has to be
they are the enforcing agency of rules that you folks are part of generating.
That we, the membership, create.
Okay.
So I think that's important to understand.
We've got about 45 seconds left, Paul.
All right.
In those 45 seconds, if it were 2 or 3 years from now, and I'm interviewing you again, and I don't think it's going to take that long, but let's say it did, in 30 seconds, what would I find here at Central?
I would hope that you would find an athletics program that's probably one of the most competitive in the Northeast Conference. I would hope you would find one that is giving our student athletes a great experience in graduating them, and hopefully graduating them on time. And I would hope you would find an athletics program that is an integral part of this campus and the community, and one that provides great experiences for our community members.
Paul, you are going to be an excellent representative of CCSU, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, and thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And we'll be back with our next segment on The Hour.